Perk, Wendy, you ready to talk some hoops?
Yes, please.
Amen. There were 12 games in the NBA last night, but no star shined brighter than the supernova Victor Wembanyama. What a performance in his opening game of the season, looking to spoil Cooper Flagg's debut. Perk, I mean, look at the footsteps. How are you supposed to guard that
Look at him stomping up the floor. That's what I'm talking about when you running with force. And oh my God,
12
flip
feet.
out on the pick. I mean, look at
Reverse.
He doesn't even need to jump if he needs to, but look at the two teammates fired up.
Just, he's mean. Look at this rip through.
Later in the second, the rip through in reverse.
This is a jaw-dropping play.
Here was
He's standing on the ground, Perk.
Here was our own Ryan Ruocco on that ridiculous play.
Wembanyama, the fake, the reverse, and the foul. A figment of our basketball imaginations.
You know, he trained with Hakeem. I feel like we can say Yama Jamma, like bring it all back.
Most guys on the rip through would have did like a two-hand cockback. He wanted to put the extra on top with that little, rock the crate.
Speaking of extra on top, it applies to both ends. Playing defense against a 7-footer, volleyball swatting.
And this play right here, these two plays right here is when I picked up the damn phone and called Brian Windhorst to have a conversation for about 15 minutes about him.
I knew why he was called.
So wait, hold on. You don't call me anymore? I feel offended. I feel offended. You guys, his plays were so nice that we have to look at them twice. Can we just ooh and ah at these circumstances we're watching? This is a cheat code. This is the alien in action.
By the way, Steph Castle and Dylan Harper were really good in this game, too. This was a great night for the Spurs.
But that's like the way under story because when he's knocking down off the dribble in and out, flexing on people, he put on some muscle. This was huge. What a night, what a debut for the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. Hear straight from him.
I saw what it's like to be confronted with, potentially losing a lot, whether it's your career or your health, so I'm not taking this for granted anymore. But the body, I'm having more fun now that I'm not struggling to move as much, and I know I still need to get better, and I'm still gonna get better.
Like Perk, Wendy, and myself, the NBA and the rest of the world was absolutely floored by that performance. You can see all the people chiming in, literally going viral, because that's what Victor Wembanyama does. Brian, you have been warning us that this day was coming. Yesterday I wanted to say the last time we had a leap year was last year, 2024. The next one is 2028. This is the leap year for Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, so I had a great opportunity to talk to Victor's coaches dating back to when he was 12 and 13 years old. And obviously he was always huge for his age. And they used to say, Victor, s'il vous plaît, please, go to the basket, go into the basket. You're taller than everybody. And Victor always resisted it because Victor doesn't want to be known as a tall guy who plays basketball. He wants to be known as a basketball player who is tall. He's articulated that just this week. And so as a result, he's always wanted to play on the perimeter. Last year, guys, he averaged 9 3-pointers a game. He shot 20 shots a game, 9 of them were 3-pointers. 40% of his shots last year were in the paint. And he was great. He was going to be the All-NBA player. He was going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. But they were saying, Victor, every step closer to the basket that you take, you have more of an advantage. They've been begging it for a decade. Victor has agreed with them because in the preseason, we saw Victor not take 40% of his shots in the paint. He took 75% of his shots in the paint, Perk, and now he's decided to carry it over in the regular season. I told you he averaged 9 threes a game last year. He took 2 last night. Do you know how many times last year he took 2 3-pointers in a game? 0, Chene. 0. He took under 5 one time, okay? Last night he had 11 free throws. Do you know how many times in a regulation game last year he had 11 free throws? Once. Victor Wembanyama is playing bully ball. He's stronger, he's figured it out, and the league is in trouble.
Well, I put out a tweet last night. I thought it was going to get played on our big board.
There were many tweets.
It didn't make it.
There were too many.
The Spurs better get ready to give him 5 years of $1 billion because he's worth every penny. Here, Shanae,
yes,
you
sir.
do an outstanding job of the cheat sheet and breaking down plays. Draw up something how to stop Victor Wembanyama. Matter of fact, you can't.
There's no answer.
Wendy, over the last 10, 15 years, even when I was playing, that was the most dominant performance I've ever seen on the season debut, on opening night for a team. I mean, do you realize who he was going against? He was going against the Dallas Mavericks, who, by the way, I believe that's going to be one of the best defensive teams in the league because of their front line. Did you see how every single time what he did to Derek Lively and Anthony Davis, every dunk, every post move, to me, every block shot, I felt the words young fella behind it, young fella behind it. Like, we're talking about if Shaq and KD had a baby, you get Victor Wembanyama. That play with Derek Lively, when he blocked his shot on one end, volleyball spiked it, pushed it down the floor, hit him with a sham guard, went between the legs, crossed in and out, step back for the 4-point play. And then this old unorthodox thing that he got going on off of one leg with these bank shots falling. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, man, how in the hell is anybody going to stop this man? Do you realize that front line that they had?
Yeah, it's unguardable. Perk, question. I was watching. I know it's a small sample size, but like
it's enough. It was small, but it was big.
MVP in question. I know Defensive Player of the Year. He led the league in blocks last year, despite only playing 40-something games. Do you think like what's in question?
What's going to stop him?
Yeah.
Tell me who's going to stop him?
There's a song. There's a song for that.
What?
Nobody, baby. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? His energy, his competitive nature is contagious. So that's why you see a guy like Stephon Castle, who had 24 points last night. You know, rookie Dylan Harper, 15. They competed. I didn't have San Antonio winning that game. Victor was like, sit your big ass down, boy, and watch this heat.
This was supposed to be about Cooper.
It was, and it was tough in the first half, but he got on the board, had an investigation affecting the league right now.
Shannon, there's been seismic reverberations across the NBA, because here you have a sitting NBA head coach, a former Hall of Fame player that is arrested and involved in this, and Terry Rozier, an active player that has been arrested as well as part of sports gambling accusations. And it places at least 2 NBA careers here in peril. And for Chauncey Billups, a wire fraud charge, money laundering, each of those counts up to 20 years. And illegal poker game fixing. But also in this indictments, there were also examples where Chauncey Billups, at least one example where Chauncey Billups potentially, allegedly gave information on his team tanking to sports bettors. And Terry Rozier has been under investigation by the federal government for at least the last 2 years for a March 2023 game. But the NBA, to be clear, had cleared him. That's why he's been able to play the last couple of seasons with the Miami Heat. And so this investigation, like Aaron just said, it started off with Jontay Porter. That's the origin story of this. That's where this all began. That's when about a handful of people were charged, arrested eventually, but now this is at over 30 people. How much larger of a list can this get? That's what everyone in the league is keeping an eye on.
And you also broke the news that obviously Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, he's going on immediate leave. That's what the NBA put out in the statement. They canceled the Trailblazers their media availability today. What are you hearing about the team moving forward?
Tiago Splitter, their assistant coach, he will take over and assume interim head coaching duties for the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers put out a statement today. They're saying that they are fully cooperating with this investigation. But clearly, this is something that they're going to be dealing with for the foreseeable future with Chauncey Billups. It's unclear when and if he will be back as the head coach. So Tiago Splitter will be the interim head coach here.
And Wendy, now that we have laid out all the allegations, can you please illustrate why, since the legalization of sports betting, that this has been a huge concern for the NBA?
Yeah, okay, so let's try to make this a little bit easier to understand for the NBA fan. There's 2 separate things going on here. The poker indictment is right out of a movie and fascinating. And that because it involves NBA individuals, it is concerning for the league. But that kind of gets pushed to the side. The league has to deal with the indictment that deals with the integrity of its games. That is what is important, okay? And that accuses 2 different things within that indictment. One, it accuses what we already knew, which is that there were players who pulled themselves out of games to win unders prop bets. That was Jontay Porter, who's already pled guilty to this. The day that Terry Rozier was accused of this, the sports betting outlets flagged this in 2023, and there's been investigations over the last 2 years in this. And this is what the NBA, quite frankly, is going to have to address very seriously, as Shams just mentioned, is that Terry Rozier was cleared to play over the last 2 seasons when obviously the FBI was seriously investigating him. And Malik Beasley, who is currently being investigated for similar actions, is not named in this indictment, but it is also going to affect this because the league is going to have to be way more thorough in that investigation now because of